From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Good morning and welcome to Montana This Morning on this Thursday, November 14th. I'm Augusta McDonnell here with Ed McIntosh. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here with us this morning.
Always enjoy it. Love to get up, come in for the early show, visit with everybody. It's nice.
Yeah, it is nice. We love having you. And we might have some snow this weekend.
That's right. Yeah, let's start off by taking a look at, I wanted to show you the almanac because yesterday we had fairly mild temperatures. We sat at 52.29, so it was just a little warmer than average. Precipitation's been hard to come by this month, but I wanted to point out, if you take a look at the lower right-hand corner there, you can see our average snowfall by now would be over 7 inches, and we barely recorded 1/10 of an inch at the Billings Airport. So it's due. We're expecting some snow. We should have some by now. Today, temperatures will be mild, moving up into the 50s by later in the day, but there is that chance of snow. I'll talk about that coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Ed, thanks for tracking all those details this morning. And let's get to some breaking news overnight. The Billings Police Department is investigating a shooting with multiple victims. Here's the details. Just before 2 a.m., officers responded to the 100 block of Calhoun Lane. Here's a map of that location. This is on the south side of Billings. You've got Montana Avenue there and that underpass. And again, 100 block of Calhoun Lane, shooting with multiple victims. Officers arrived to find one subject deceased and 2 others with non-life-threatening injuries. The Billings police detectives have been called to the scene. We don't have any information on arrests or suspects at this time, but we'll continue to update this story as we learn more. And we've also got some new details this morning about Monday morning's armed carjacking in Billings. Prosecutors say the people involved all knew each other. And Wednesday, a woman pled not guilty to felony charges related to what happened. 28-year-old Truvi Hardground, along with 2 others, are accused of stealing a car at gunpoint and then crashing it following a chase through town. Court documents say Hardground was walking with a man and a woman on Broadwater Avenue when they were offered a ride from a man they say they knew. But when they got in the car, the man pulled a gun on the driver. Hardground is accused of getting into the driver's seat, stealing the car, and leading police on a chase on Montana Avenue and North 27th. The other 2 suspects escaped and have not been caught. Hardground's bond was set at $25,000. We'll continue to track that case. And a Joliet teacher is on administrative leave, and the school is investigating after allegations of sexual misconduct against students. Our Matt Carmack spoke to one of several concerned parents, as well as the school superintendent, about these allegations.
An official investigation has been opened at Joliet Public Schools after alleged reports of sexual misconduct between a teacher and a student. Administration say that teacher is now on leave. Inside this Carbon County school, disturbing allegations lie.
It's kind of disgusting. It's just, I mean, for me, I'm scared. I mean, for my kids, I'm scared.
Mark Moreland is a Joliet parent with a daughter in the district. Moreland says last Wednesday, 3 friends of his daughter came forward to their principal that a middle school teacher and counselor engaged in inappropriate physical contact. District Superintendent Clark Beggar told MTN Wednesday that the teacher is now on administrative leave and there is a current investigation. The district has not named the teacher and no charges have been officially filed as of news time, which is why MTN is withholding their name. Moreland took matters into his own hands Monday and addressed the principal and superintendent himself.
You know, why is he actually still in the school when there ended up being 3 students that had filed claims against him? And I said, if he's under investigation for sexual harassment or assault, he should not be allowed to be in the school.
Moreland says school officials told him that they would file a report with the Carbon County Sheriff Department. But Sheriff Josh McQuillan hadn't received any report as of Wednesday afternoon. Moreland wants other possible victims and parents to come forward to bring more light to the situation.
These 3 were strong enough to step forward. You're fighting against the people that should be fighting for your kids.
MTN reached out to a number listed for the teacher but had not heard back as of news time. In Joliet, Matt Carmack, MTN News.
Mac, thank you so much. And this morning, there's growing reaction to President-elect Donald Trump's surprise pick of former Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz to become the nation's highest-ranking law enforcement official. Gaetz has been the subject of House and Justice Department investigations into alleged sexual misconduct, though the Department of Justice later dropped its probe without filing charges. This controversy comes as the president-elect was welcomed to the White House yesterday by President Joe Biden for a meeting that they say lasted 2 hours, according to administration officials. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
Welcome back. After a bitter battle on the campaign trail, President Joe Biden welcomed President-elect Donald Trump to a cordial meeting at the White House.
Politics is tough, and it's, in many cases, not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today.
The 2-hour sit-down as Trump's transition rolled ahead, naming Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz as his pick for U.S. Attorney General, raising eyebrows from both sides of the aisle.
It's just kind of like a God tier kind of trolling, just to trigger a meltdown.
I just think it's silly. The president is smart enough and his team is smart enough to know that Mr. Gaetz will never get confirmed by the Senate.
Gaetz, a staunch Trump ally, resigned from the House Wednesday, just days before a House ethics panel was set to vote on whether to release its report on its investigation into whether Gaetz engaged in sexual misconduct and tried to obstruct government investigations. That's according to 3 sources with knowledge of the committee's work. Wednesday, Trump also named former Democratic Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard as his director of national intelligence. She's likely to be grilled over sympathetic statements toward Russia and a self-funded trip to meet with Syria's leader. The Army vet last night on Fox News.
The American people delivered quite an incredible mandate for change in this election. Of course, there's going to be resistance to change from the swamp in Washington.
The groundwork being laid at the White House as Republicans make a clean sweep on the Hill, now projected to control the House and the Senate. Jared Hill, CBS News.
CBS News has learned that President-elect Trump intends to tap former congressional GOP staffer Sergio Gore to head up his presidential personnel office, according to a Trump official with knowledge of that decision. Gore is the co-founder and president of Donald Trump Jr.'s publishing company. And back here in Montana, we've got some local political news as well. Governor Greg Gianforte says he wants the state's budget to continue the work he started during his first term in office and reflect what he says voters say they want, a conservative outlook. Gianforte gave Montana legislators a first look at his budget proposal ahead of the 2025 session on Wednesday. Taxes are at the forefront. The governor plans to cut income tax rates but have a higher earned income tax credit. There's also a homestead exemption to reduce property taxes on Montanans' primary residences. He also focused on higher pay for teachers and Montana Highway Patrol troopers and wants to add more funds for school maintenance projects and the expansion of the Montana State Prison.
We're investing in building a stronger, more stable economy here in Montana. We got a head start over the last 4 years, but there's more work we must do to encourage job creation, support law enforcement, invest to make our schools better for students and teachers, and protect our way of life.
The main budget bill is expected to include about $14 billion in spending over the next 2 years. His full budget proposal will be out on Friday. Of course, all of this ahead of the upcoming 2025 spring legislative session. And after 30 years, we've got another Turkey Tuesday in the books here at Q2, and the Billings community answered our call. Thank you so much to everybody who donated on Tuesday. Family Service set a goal of 1,500 turkeys, and we're proud to say that goal was reached this year. This is the most ever. The community also responded with over $18,000 in monetary donations and more than 3,000 pounds of food. Toys for Tots also received more than 400 toys for this holiday season. So once again, we want to say a big thank you to everybody for making Turkey Tuesday a huge success. You've made a difference here in Billings. Some major retailers are promising affordable Thanksgiving meals for $5 to $7 per person. John Matarese looks at the deals stores are offering and other ways to save.
The clock is ticking now on planning your Thanksgiving feast. So we're looking at ways to stock your pantry for less and get the best deal on the centerpiece of that meal, your Thanksgiving turkey.
Turkey prices are down compared to last year. That's clucking good news, according to turkey farmer Stephanie Tuies, who has managed to keep her prices steady.
That's the same price for the last 2 years. The price of turkey food goes up, prices have to go up. We were able to make some changes elsewhere.
For the rest of the meal, consumer savings expert Andrea Warrock says shop early with different items on sale each week.
What grocery stores will do is rotate sales on popular Thanksgiving ingredients to get you into the store.
Various retailers are offering Thanksgiving bundles to help you save. Aldi says you can host a feast for 10 for only $47. Target claims you can serve 4 people for $20. And Walmart says its holiday meal serves up to 8 people for less than $7 per person. A downside, though, Rock says these deals may not include everything you need.
There could be other things that you want to add to it, and so now all of a sudden it's inflating the cost.
She says one deal to pay attention to is a free turkey if you spend a certain amount.
Some stores may say you need to spend a certain amount in one shopping trip, which you could still meet that minimum threshold if you buy those non-perishable ingredients for Thanksgiving and your daily groceries.
Other ways to save. Make your feast a potluck. Buy frozen fruits and vegetables over fresh. Avoid pre-made desserts, which tend to cost more. And lastly, Rock says don't waste your leftovers. If you have to trim the budget, farmer Stephanie Tuies would rather cut back on the sides, not the main event.
Never skimp on the turkey. I mean, how can you go wrong with a fresh turkey?
That way you have a great meal and you don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese.
Back here in Montana, some magic over the skies in western Montana. People reported seeing a bright light streaking across the skies Wednesday morning. Here's some ring camera footage and Nest camera footage of this event. It was reported by the National Weather Service in Missoula. They say a sensor detected what appears to be a meteor at around 6:30 a.m. The meteor was first detected over southwest Alberta. The American Meteor Society shows reports have come in from Montana, Washington, Oregon, and western Canada. Really cool event there. Back here in Billings, a family from Syria who fled their homeland and found refuge in Billings is facing the threat of having to uproot again. It's all in an effort to help their daughter, who suffers from a rare disease which requires an expensive treatment that's not available in Montana. As our Haley Monaco reports, it's just another challenge for a family who's already overcome so much.
Malak is just 3 years old, and she has the cutest smile and the sweetest laugh. But she also has a condition that will negatively impact her life unless she's able to get life-changing treatments. As Malak sings her ABCs, her father stands back proudly watching. In just 3 years, this little one already has such a story behind her. She was born in Jordan, not Montana, the Middle Eastern country, while her family was living in a refugee camp after escaping Syria.
Our home was completely destroyed by missiles.
But just months after she was born, her family received devastating news.
We discovered 3 months after her birth that she suffers from a disease in the intestines.
She was diagnosed with involuntary fecal incontinence, and with no treatment options available in Jordan, the family obtained the necessary refugee documents and were resettled in Montana.
This disease has very serious psychological symptoms when you grow up.
Her father, Raed al-Radi, would understand most. He suffers from the same condition, an inability to control your bowels.
You'll be an outcast from society and friends. One of these symptoms is suicide.
Because of his age, he cannot receive treatment, but there's still hope for Malak. But as they have been getting used to life in Billings for the last 5 months, they were hit with another hurdle to overcome.
Malak has no cure in Montana.
News that was frustrating to hear.
If another state was chosen before resettlement, with advanced medical resources, more specialized in the case of Malak, we wouldn't be in this problem now.
Now the family is desperate for help, raising money to be able to move to either Denver or Los Angeles, where they can get the help she needs.
We launched a $25,000 donation campaign.
Anything to help their daughter live the best life she can.
Something that helps us treat Malak so she can live normally.
In Billings, Haley Monaco, MTN News.